It's a good start, man.
Yeah. I watched the countdown there. That bit didn't make the cut. I'm good. Right, let's do a proper intro. Hello and welcome. Today I've got a very special guest for you who is only on the podcast because I chased him down a railway station platform. It is Dave from MSPaints.
How we doing? I'm fine now that I've escaped your dungeon. I'm all right, aren't I? Put me in your transit van and abducted me.
If I'd had a big Hessian sack, I would have got you.
To be a big sack. Two angry ginger men in the rain trying to handle half-term Friday, just trying to make it further south was not going to happen. We got hit with that Newark change that's just awful.
Yeah, yes, but it turned out to be joyous for me. I got to meet you.
Yes,
I was on my way to Warhammer World because I'm a filthy slut. You were doing something a bit cooler than me, weren't you?
I was heading to Lincoln Card Show, so I don't know if we'd say that was cool. And a hot weekend of Final Fantasy trading card game.
Yeah, that does sound pretty hot.
How was your weekend at Warhammer World?
It was good. I think I got there, I'd had too much caffeine. Like the host who was hosting the Women in Warhammer Day, she was like, have you had a good journey down? I was like, yeah. I saw a massive rainbow. I met Dave from MSPaints, and then I saw a cloud that was shaped like a brontosaurus. So, yeah.
You just did the most incredible autism dump on whoever spoke to you first. Yeah. I saw a rainbow. I saw a cloud that was like a dinosaur.
Yeah. There's no masking with my friend Emily. She's also super autistic, so she's like, all right, I get it.
How big was the cloud?
Yeah. Well, you might have noticed you were on the opposite platform to me when we got to the other station, and I actually ran down to the end of the station because it was only there for a second. You know, sometimes you get a little rain cloud that just wisps across and forms into something and then disappears. Yes. It was like one of those kind of transient, like Zen moments. I was like, wow, that was incredible.
Pan flutes played in the back of your mind.
Exactly that, yes. Yeah. Anyway, I've already completely gone off piece. Sorry about that, everybody. I was lucky that I bumped into you. I've been a follower for quite a long time. I think the first video of yours I found was the one where you were making Warhammer ruin terrain out of pizza boxes. And I was like, that can't be done. And I watched it and it's like, that man's a genius. I'm subscribing now.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I do actually remember that one. Sometimes people say, "Oh, I really loved your such and such video," and I'm like,
"You're like,
cool.
Like Gandalf. I have no recollection of this place.
I have no memory of this."
Because I'm not the sharpest tool in the box. It was a while that I clicked that the channel is called MS Paints because you have MS. So I wanted to start with that and find out how that has shaped your journey, because that's fundamentally one of the reasons why you started the channel, was to kind of document that, wasn't it?
Yeah. Pretty much. That was kind of it was COVID times, and I'm in the creative industry, and the creative industry just shut down. So I sat there in my because I lived illegally in my music studio at the time, which was also where the rest of my company's film gear was, and they all fucked off. And I was just like, well, gyms are closed, so can I come and use your shower? Because I live here illegally. And they were like, yeah, okay, but bubble, got to do the bubble. And then I said, what do you think I should do with my time? And they were like, well, you're a white dude in your late 30s. You should probably start a YouTube channel. So that was kind of the process. And I'd had MSPaints knocking around in my head for a few months. And a friend of mine said, that's probably the smartest thing you've ever come up with. And it might be the smartest thing you ever will come up with. And if you don't do it, I won't be your friend anymore. I'll be very disappointed. So it was kind of, half of it was documenting and understanding where my newly diagnosed condition now fitted me into the hobby, but it was also a challenge to transition from like a dedicated audio role in my industry to understanding camera, understanding lights, understanding edit, motion graphics, and just because I had like a 9-month slate to do stuff with, which was
Yeah.
basically what government told us, like, you keep yourself busy. And we just wrapped up a job with Amazon at the time, so we were like, we have money, we're fine. I'll learn how to make myself useful. So it was very much a twofold thing. So it's something that not a lot of people notice kind of organically on the channel, is that if you look at my first video, where basically I look like Gandalf the White returning, because everything is just so fucking overblown and bright with a GoPro camera. And
Right.
now we're at this other end of the journey where everything is perfectly exposed and we're using cinema cameras. So it's a double journey, mate. It's a double journey.
And did you enjoy that process of learning the other side of it then? Because you're obviously a very creative person, but your background was more from the music side. If it's not an oxymoron, you were a professional musician.
Yes. Yeah, and a working musician. Yeah, which was also an oxymoron.
Sometimes those two are not the same thing, a professional musician and a working musician. Yeah.
Not at all. No. Yeah, it was interesting more than anything else. I thought it was part of my condition that maybe why I had a head fog, why I was kind of just bored with existence almost. That sounds too heavy, but just kind of just fatigue, I think. And as soon as I started learning new information, learning new things, why is that lens £3,000? What makes it better than this 50 quid lens? What does this mean? What's that number? What's this little uppy downy diagram thing every time I move in front of the camera? And then my brain just started doing that neuroplasticity thing, and I'm like, oh, I'm becoming a better human. This is fucking sick. And I just didn't stop absorbing the information. So yeah, it's been a life raft almost. Not necessarily just the channel itself, but kind of learning new things, understanding things, and yeah,
I can totally get that. I think it's one of the things that I mentioned to you before is the quality, the production values that you bring are off the charts. Like there isn't anybody else involved in this YouTube that does this to that level. Was that something that was deliberate for you, or is it just because you kind of had the equipment that can deliver it? I mean, you still have to learn how to use it, don't you?
Yeah. Fuck me, that question went right out of my head. Sorry. What was the
Well, it was probably because I waffled on. There was a question in there somewhere, I promise you.
No, I was ready to answer, and then the fuse just went out like in a fucking Bugs Bunny cartoon. I was like, hang on, where am I? What?
It's funny because, like with the brain fog and the fatigue, I had a glimpse of that because I got long COVID, and that was one of the issues that I had with that. It's nowhere near the same thing, but I was thinking before this, like if it hit us like mid podcast and we both just like shut down, and it's just 4 hours of us just kind of breathing.
Yeah, that could happen. Just sat here drooling over my models, and
yeah.
Just
me, just by a string of drool just stuck to my microphone or something. Yeah. But yeah, no. The question I wanted to ask you was about whether you'd enjoyed learning that technical side of filming, because it's so deep as well. Like you've got all of that stuff about lighting and, like you said, learning the different things about the lenses, etc.
Yeah.
But that's very different to the creative process of creating music.
Yes. I mean, I approach everything from a kind of like almost chameleon-esque kind of thing. Like most of my music career has been, can you do this but for 20 quid? And my response is, yes, we can do the theme from Inception for 20 quid. That's fun. Sure. So I'm able to, I like to absorb information, decode what people are doing, not just what they're telling me when they explain how to do stuff, but actually look at what they're doing, because sometimes it's completely fucking different. And then try and recreate. Essentially, I'm a rip-off artist and a copier. You just gotta copy the good people, I suppose.
Everybody is. That's human nature. Yeah. We all stand on the shoulders of others, don't we?
Yes. Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've really enjoyed it. There's been just some awesome moments just by myself in a room, and I figure something out, and I'm like, oh yeah, that does look really good. I know someone told me to do this a year ago, but I just didn't understand them. But now I've figured it out by accident. I can go back to them and say, yeah, just thanks for that tip a year ago. I think the nicest moment probably recently was about 8 or 9 months ago when I stepped up to shooting an anamorphic, which is possibly the most stupid decision I could have made. Do you remember Luke from Geek Gaming?
Yes.
Yes, he rings me now and again, and after I put out a video that was shot in anamorphic, he rang me and said, why the fuck have you done that? Fuck's point. You fucked it now. So yeah, I picked a category of lens that you have to be that far away to get something in focus.
Yeah.
Which is shit for painting miniatures. They're really slow to use. If I want to get closer, I have to take one off and put a closer lens on,
Right.
which makes everything take 4 times as long. But the lenses are beautiful. Everything looks very beautiful. It looks like a real movie. So
Yeah, it does, and I think it draws us in. Like, I think this is as good as it gets for me. I would like to learn all of that stuff, but it's very slow process. I mean, you're talking to a man that just spent 10 minutes working out how to unmute you before we started recording.
if it makes you feel any better, that persists all the way up the audio spectrum.
Right.
I will be recording conferences with like, for example, this really happened, a Saudi billionaire, and he wants to talk to a room full of people on the other side of the world, and I am stood there in front of this mixing desk like, I can hear him, they can't hear him. Where the fuck is the unmute button on this thing?
Yeah.
And there's ChatGPT over there, there's Gemini over there, and I'm flicking through the manual, surrounded by 18-year-olds. Like, how the fuck do we unmute this desk? So it's all the way up there, man.
It does make me feel a little bit better. Maybe,
Yes.
yeah. And I want, in terms of the channel itself, one of the big things that stuck out to me recently was that you went a year, I think it was, with making like ZERO Warhammer content.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to get the thought process about that, and whether that is evidence of like a love-hate relationship with that GW kind of vibe.
I mean, firstly, I did it for a year and then didn't tell anyone I was doing it until the end of the year, which you did notice. Which is one thing I've learned, probably one of the best things I've learned from YouTube in my time doing it, was don't tell someone you're going to do something until you're 75% of the way through it.
Yeah,
because then if you don't do it, you've just lied. It was interesting. The reason for doing it was I was looking at not just my metrics, but I was looking at everyone else's metrics through like plugin software and things like that.
Yeah.
And I noticed people are getting fucking bored of this. This is on a downward turn.
Right.
And then I looked at because I used to be a Games Workshop stockist, so I was very aware of their price hikes. And I thought, yeah, this bubble is probably going to burst at some point. I should probably diversify, and then I can go back to Warhammer, but then I have a subscriber base that will not be surprised if I suddenly get obsessed with, I don't know, radar dishes or collecting stamps, or I don't know, shadow puppets or something. If I can diversify enough, then I can kind of fall back on different things. But after that year, I was just kind of like, I don't really want to go back to doing that kind of thing. There's nothing wrong with it. Like, I do look at some Warhammer models and I'm like, I would really like to paint that. That would be nice. It's £45. I'm okay. But yeah, I think I tried going back to some stuff and I just thought, I've painted this before, not this actual specific model, but I've painted something that has come out of that sort of shared, unified, sort of collective branded mind, if
Yes.
that makes sense.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
there's, again, I'm not shooting on the product. If you like the product, that's more power to you. I wish I could enjoy it more, but a lot of it feels filtered through the same lens. Everything that
Yes.
comes out, I'm like, I have 90% of that model already.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of a bit. It's probably just the ADHD, but I got bored of what I felt like I was painting the same thing essentially.
I feel that, yeah. And
Yeah.
I mean, it is obvious sometimes, like when you collect more than one faction. So I collect Dark
Mhm.
Eldar, and they've just done a new one, but the old Archon, you probably remember, he's like a skinny guy and he's kind of got his arms crossed like this.
Yep.
And then they brought out a new Necron Overlord with a fancy cloak, a translocation shroud, and it's exactly the same build and pose. And even though I'm obviously not using the same color palette to paint that, that was the first time that hit me, what you just said there. I'm like, hang on a minute, I've done this before.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm kind of. I mean, I don't know how you feel about this, but I'm. When I talked about that neuroplasticity thing, I'm kind of on a bit of a kick. In a cool. I kind of fancy doing something else now. I want to see what I can do with another sculptor's stuff. I'm not the best painter in the world by any means, but just all those little tiny things like the way washes react with certain sculptors' stuff, the way paint and inks fall in their cracks and crevices, it's just different. The odd Warhammer Mini that I have gone back and painted, I've thought, holy fuck, this is wonderful. It just paints itself. Like I think I painted a Warcry warband or something where everyone
Yeah.
is just everyone looks like the Arnold Classic kind of thing. And I was just painting skin tones and thought, I don't need to glaze this. This model is glorious. It loves me. It's a shame I'm going to get bored after I've done this. I could paint this forever, but no.
I know what you mean. I did the I bought the Trench Crusade, the first Plaggy set of that, the Prussian shock troopers, and that was the same. It was just a joy to paint.
Yes.
And finding that from other areas than Warhammer is something that I'm more interested in. And I think a lot of 40k players in particular have got end of edition fatigue.
Okay.
You know, a lot of us have a love relationship with GW, and obviously that goes up and down depending on, you know, where you are and with your hobby, your own personal hobby. I think I don't know a lot of people that 100% love Warhammer or 0% love it, you know. But I think at the moment there are people that have been playing that game for 2.5 years that are interested in scratching that itch elsewhere, and that's something that you've been ahead of us in that. You've been scratching that itch for a few years now. What would you recommend if somebody like me, if we're thinking, right, I would just want to cleanse that palette, I want to try something new. What's ticking your boxes at the moment?
Well, I'm going to give you a counter question first because
Okay.
I need some clarity on what you said. So when you say end of edition fatigue, is that something that comes around every edition, or is it this edition especially? Because I've heard some things about this edition.
For me personally, it's every edition. I think, but this edition has had a bit less flavour. I think it's definitely been starker in this edition. It's certainly for some of my pals whose factions have been sat in the middle. They're okay, so competitively speaking, you know, because that's what matters. So GW's left them alone, but that sometimes there's only one realistic way to play them if you're trying to play that type of a game, and it gets boring. You know, if you can only play the same army list, and after the third or fourth time, you're like, balls to this, I'll go and do something else.
It's interesting because I've always thought to myself, for the few games of 40k I've played, I think I played a bit of Necromunda, done some Warcry as well. But I've always wondered is it possible to just go back and play a different edition easily?
It's growing. There is a canny big second edition community now, and now thirds, but that's like the really old dudes. You know, they all burned their Marines when the Primaris came out in 2016, and they went back to. So they're an interesting crowd, but there's definitely an old hammer market, and I know a couple of lads that play like third and fourth. I imagine it's as those editions age, it's like the nostalgia thing as well, isn't it? You want to play what you like, what you loved as a kid. But if you were to say to me, like, is there anyone playing 6th edition in the north of England, I would struggle. There will be, fair. But I would struggle. Yeah.
It's just odd that I think within a couple of weeks of 10th coming out, people would say, I would say, oh, how's your Tau doing in 10th? And they'd say, fucking shit, no character, everything's boring. Like, all right, sound. Do you want to come and play 10th edition with us next week? Like, that really doesn't sound good. Can we play 9th? No, why would we do that? I'm like, I don't know. Can you answer that for me?
Yeah, it does feel that way. I think unless you've got like a real tight knit group of people. Like, he's not part of my tight-knit group of people, I need to make this clear, but like Henry Cavill, he basically plays with his brothers, I think. So about a year and a half into 10th edition, they were asking like, oh, you know, what do you think about this? And he's like, I haven't played 10th edition. So I think he was one of those like, actually, I'm just going to stick to this for now. So yeah, if you've got a nice tight group, and who doesn't like anything nice and tight? If you've got a nice tight group, then you can... you can do that. But if you go into a gaming club, you're basically screwed because everyone wants to play the new thing, don't they? The hot new thing.
Even if it sucks.
Yeah, apparently so. But like I said, I've had a good 30 months out of it, and I'm still playing. I'll be playing on Friday, and I'll have a good time. But it's having then played other things like Trench Crusade, for example. I'm like, oh, hang on, this is tickling my balls. I quite like this. I'm interested in being tickled a bit more, and I wondered what was tickling yours. If you've got any other recommendations.
What have I been? Oh God, it's going to be very revealing of my personality if I tell you what I've been playing the last few weeks. Fuck me, it's just come back to me now. So tabletop wargame wise, since I don't do Warhammer, I've been wanting something big scale. To kind of fill that hole in my heart, that loneliness. I tried it with Conquest, and then me and my dad got a fucking sick deal on a load of Conquest, and then immediately put it in the box because we had too much Conquest and it was scary. But then Conflict 47 came along, and I was like, oh, they've changed a few words so it doesn't feel uncomfortable to play that army anymore. Well, it does a bit, but you don't have to say it out loud in public anymore. So I'll give that a little go. I'll see what that's about. And there's mechanized spider tanks. I love a spider tank. The Japanese Empire has scorpion tanks, and they're similar to spider tanks, but I also love scorpion tanks. So that's kind of win-win for me. And my friends, I've got some friends that play bolt action, and they're basically cross-compatible. Like, if you asked someone that was really into bolt action, they'd give you a look. But they're completely cross-compatible. Like, me and my friend, he has a bolt action rulebook, I have a Conflict 47 rulebook, and we have a couple of Guinnesses, and we have a great time. So to me, that's compatible. So yeah, I think Conflict 47 bolt action, that's tabletop wise, that's doing it for me right now. I've just come out of a dark Yu-Gi-Oh patch, which is, I don't know if you've ever played it, but it is. Oh, you have?
My eldest is 27 now, and Yu-Gi-Oh basically came out when he was the perfect age for it. So it was one of those things that he wanted to play, didn't have anyone to play with, so I used to mercilessly bully him. No, I didn't really. So yeah, I honestly, when the first decks came out, it was a super addictive game. I thought it was a brilliant game.
Have you seen what it's like now?
No.
It's the ultimate just monkey paw wish. People wanted more Yu-Gi-Oh and they got it, and now it's some kind of, it's some sort of horrific test of humanity from a different dimension. It is functioning on a whole other plane of existence, and me and my friend just had to stop.
Right.
Because I think my mind broke during one game, and I couldn't really talk afterwards. Um, so, yeah, I've just come out of that. I play a lot of Final Fantasy, the trading card game, not the Magic the Gathering spin-off thing, because I'm not paying £6 for a pack of cards.
No.
So I play the official Final Fantasy trading card game, which is much cheaper and has like 2 releases a year, which is very affordable.
Yeah.
And last week I played a game called Weiss and Schwarz,
Okay.
which is it's a Japanese card game, and every set they release is like one print run only, and it ties into like a video game or an anime franchise. So I don't really know who anyone is in it, but and you read in the rules, and it's like, okay, draw a card. Okay, sure, I can do that. Okay, you can now, if you want, put that card into your clock zone and draw 2 more cards. And I'm like, what the fuck is a clock zone? Okay, now move one of those cards to your memory bank. Okay, fine. And put another 2 cards into your stock. Like, what the fuck is this? What is this? But then got my head around that, and it's a really, really, really good game. Yeah. So I will honestly play anything. 1-page rules as well. Holy shit, 1-page rules. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah, I subscribe to their like newsletter and stuff, and I keep an eye on what they're up to. I think it's just a victim of geography, but I don't know anyone that plays it up here. I would love to give it a bash. Lots of people keep saying, "Oh, we should try it," but nobody has yet. But it's on the list.
It is worth a go. Yeah. I think most of the arguments I've heard against it are that units and characters don't have much character in it. But then obviously my comeback was, yeah, but you just said Warhammer 10th edition didn't have any character to it. So
I think the challenge with anything like that of that scale of 40k is the complexity, and then the mental load, and then it becomes something that you've got to kind of work yourself up to. Like, it's basically, if you want to play a casual game with your pal, it's most of a weekend day. It's not something that we could do on a Wednesday night for 2 hours. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
And it's finding something else that you can do that isn't super serious. Like Warhammer, Warhammer is what it is now. It's become this behemoth. But when it started off, it was really silly, and I loved that side of it.
Yes.
And I missed that a little bit. So I like to get that from other you have to get that from other places now.
Yes. Yeah. I think, you brought up a nice point there, which is I did get fatigue of how fucking serious it is.
Yeah.
Like, not to the point of serious to where it goes all the way back around and it's comedic. It's kind of it's not as nuanced as I remember it as when I was a kid and I was reading stuff. And if I got the nuance as a kid, I should be able to get it now. So I think it's just kind of its absence. There's a sense of humor there in places, but it's kind of like Marvel Studios humor, not in that it's lame and it's shit and it's predictable and it makes you groan a bit. It's you can have your humor, but we're not going to combine it with anything else. You have your joke and then something else separate. You can't put the burger between the bread.
Yeah, it's literally comic relief, but then we get back to being po-faced again. Yeah, it's not integral, is it?
No, not at all. And kind of, do you think it's kind of almost impenetrable in a lot of ways in terms of its narrative, its universe? I found it very difficult to get into it.
I think because I was ground zero, I just absorbed all that as a kid, and you just kind of build on that. I think trying to come into it now would be, there's just so much of it, but also like the whole Horus Heresy thing they did was where it switched and it became super serious, because the Horus Heresy is a tragedy, whereas 40k was, and I know I'm going to get all the chuds in the comments, but 40k was a satire. It wasn't like written by left-wing activists. It was like young ones humor, it was like 80s kind of anti-establishment polemic stuff, but it was a satire. And and if your entry point was that's what it still looks like to me, even though those elements are much more reduced. But if you come into it from the mega hero Primarch on Primark Super Tragedy, then you're like, hey, why are you saying that my amazingly serious story is a joke or a satire? And I can kind of see why they get upset about it in that respect. But it's the issue with the Games Workshop is they want their fucking cake and eat it. So they'll say, hey, it's both. Why can't it be both? But it can't be both. Get back in your box, GW. It has to be one or the other. Well, speaking of places to scratch that itch, you've actually taken the big step of creating something yourself, haven't you?
Yes, it's not finished yet. I'm creating something.
Right.
I will be very, very happy when it's created. Yeah. I basically got sick of people in my YouTube comments. Guaranteed every video someone tells me I'm wrong about something.
Yeah.
So I've invented my own game. I've invented my own universe, and you can't tell me I'm wrong.
So tell us a bit more about it. If it's not giving the game away, what can you tell us at this point? Because you are pretty far forward with it now, aren't you?
Oh yeah. So the game is called Petrichor, which is a lovely word. And Petrichor is the smell of rain.
Oh.
Yeah. So when before it rains and there's that really lovely smell in the air and it's really fresh. Like, oh, that's really nice. That's Petrichor. Yes. But it's also I think it's like a compound word from Greek, which is like the blood of gods.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm thinking. I'm like a Dreamcast. I'm thinking. But also it's something to do with getting blood from a stone kind of thing. And the name kind of came a little bit later after we locked in all our thematics, but it just kind of felt right for what we've got. What should I talk about first, the game or the universe? Because they're both, well, interesting to me at least.
Oh yeah, but likewise. Well, let's start with the setting then. What's the universe?
So the universe is pitched off my elevator pitch, which is this is Stargrave meets Dark Souls, essentially, is what I wanted. I'm horrendously late to the Dark Souls bandwagon. I played my first Dark Soul about 3 years ago, and I'm ramping up the game development because I really like this fucking vibe. This is really interesting. And then I go to UK Games Expo last year and I'm like, oh, everybody else thought it was fucking interesting and I'm really behind. So all of my ideas basically look like everyone else's shit. Okay, back to the drawing board a little bit.
Oh
no. Yeah, so universe-wise, we have, in a very Dark Souls kind of way, all of our main characters are undead. They don't necessarily follow or look like the tropes associated with that. Some of them do, some of them don't. But the idea is it's miniature agnostic. So from day one, we were like, if you just get the book, you can do a Petrichor. You're all good.
Nice.
Universe-wise, it's kind of centered around a medieval, like, mega city, I guess it is. Kind of Thief-like, if you remember the Thief series video games.
Yes.
Yeah. Everything around that city, the people in it, they don't really know. They've never been outside. Generations come, generations go. No one's really stepped outside. Outside is a frozen wasteland. It is hinted at in the book how we got this through various creation mythologies. We have got our own, like, pantheon of gods and things. And inexplicably, at some point, and I'll tell you why some point is about as accurate as time gets in this game, the dead start coming back to life in the wasteland. They just get out of the snow and they're like, what the fuck is going on? And they can, the idea is there's layers and layers of permafrost, and as kind of the glaciers shift and new snow comes in, it uncovers different layers. So you can have, this is where it gets even more agnostic, is you can have all kinds of terrain, you can have all kinds of themes. If you want to do like a bonsai temple or some shit, just say that was from 8,000 years ago, the snow shifted, there it is. If you want to play a team of samurai, you do that. If you want to play, if you've got a box full of Afghan musket riflemen or something from Wargames Atlantic. You can play them and you can make your own where they came from kind of thing. But the reason we don't have time in it as such is that the undead in it are completely immortal. Like, if they die, their ghost will wander off around the wasteland, then it will come back, and then they'll just get back up again. They will be reanimated by a wonderful MacGuffin called Petrichor. So that's kind of the name, and it's what brings them back to life. We don't know why it's doing that, but there's snippets and bits in the book. Everything's written from perspectives, so journal entries from researchers, archaeologists.
Love that.
Yeah. There's absolutely zero just factual stuff, and none of it is written from the perspective of, we've called them the awakened dead, essentially. None of it's from their perspective. There's people that have written journals where they're kind of observing them, kind of like almost like a nature documentary from afar, trying to figure out what they're doing. Because the awakened dead, they move in patterns. They don't really know why. Most of them are fully cognitive. They're conscious. They have less fortunate ones with them that are called drifters, who are models in the game. They have their own mechanics, kind of like herd shepherding. So that they're observed from a distance. They move from place to place, which also ends up being a mechanic. They're called sites of power. They don't know why they go to them. They sometimes end up fighting over them because they think the resource is finite. It might be finite. I'm not going to tell you. The game won't tell you. And that's kind of, that's kind of it. The awakened dead are your characters. They are both sort of revered by the humans in the megacity. They're also feared because they're kind of the boogeymen. But also, I'm going to use some trigger words. So just a heads up. Two of the core elements of the game are, I guess, abuse and addiction. So, yeah. Not because I don't know nothing about that. So I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to lecture. I'm not trying to preach. I'm just using things that people might be familiar with or have context of in their life, and apply it to these characters to kind of really ground it and make it more empathetic, because the awakened dead are basically superhuman. They can't die, but they have a strange affliction which keeps taking them from location to location. And it's described in the book as, an observer asked them, why do you keep going to all these different places? And then you just sit there for 100 years, and then out of nowhere you just get up and then you walk away. And then the awakened character says, well, I moved there because it felt warm over there. It felt good. And then it stopped feeling good, so I moved elsewhere. So as you go through the campaign, you'll figure out hints as to why they're doing this, but also I'm doing really well. This is the first time I've ever explained it to another human. But also the petrichor that reanimates them is unfortunately a very addictive substance to humans. So you end up playing these quite sad, pitied characters who are then harvested and taken back to the city. So they're kind of in a really losing fucking fight. But the humans are starting to figure out, hang on, why are these things coming back to life? And why do some of them seem to come back with a specific purpose? Not mutation as such, but some of them are kind of from all different walks of past and life, and they seem to fit certain character roles. Some of them are really good at talking to the drifters and coordinating them to do stuff. What's going on? Are we in some deep shit here because we have really treated them like shit, and they seem to be possibly getting more dangerous? So yeah,
that actually sounds awesome. I think
thank you.
one of the things that is missing, I think, from a canny few games, is that sense of mystery and discovery.
Yes.
I don't want it all laid out for me up front. I don't need that.
Hmm.
I want to go and I want to feel like I'm on that journey of exploration. If that doesn't sound too twatty.
No, that's entirely right. One of the so I mentioned our influences early on, which was Frostgrave. Sorry, Frostgrave and Stargrave. Mechanically, we did be very inspired by that, but we looked at what is there when you look a little bit deeper with Dark Souls, like mechanically, what is it that really makes that shit work? And the piecemeal storytelling is one of those things. Like we have a character in our book that has the most Dark Souls name I could come up with. She's called Unorna the Failed Experiment. No, Unorna the Bastard's Failed Experiment.
Huh.
So yeah. So she has a name, great, but she is an experiment by the bastard. So you've got a lot of things to kind of think about, like, hang on, so who made it? What was he trying to make? Who was she before? And just trying to do that Dark Soulsy thing of, here's a name of something, here's a very brief description, piece that together with that, put that together with that, and you've got 10% of the story. Well done.
That is me to a T. I love those hooks. Absolutely love them. What about mechanically? You mentioned there that you've drawn some inspiration from a couple of other skirmish games. The Graves. What can you tell us about that? Explain your entire game in under 2 minutes mechanically.
So the main takeaway was miniature agnostic. Buy a book, bring your own shit, have fun. But we kind of looked at what really works for Frostgrave and Stargrave is that ultimately combat and checks and doing stuff is 2 dice rolled, and the highest number with modifiers and adjusters wins. And with a single dice roll, and we have incremental dice sizes to indicate the power of stuff, it keeps it swingy. And a lot of people don't like swing. I like swing because it means you can do some crazy stuff out of nowhere.
I know I keep banging on about it. Sorry, but it's one of the things I've enjoyed about Trench Crusade is anything can kill anything. It's a bit of a cliche, but the dice tell the stories, and that's what swingy is. It's you get those moments that you're then talking with your mates down the pub or the next game or all that stuff. That's the magic, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. It's ultimately creating crazy moments that can pop. There's obviously some crushing moments that come with that when everyone rolls ones, but that is part of the storytelling.
Oh yeah, your game will be absolute bullshit when the dice go against me, Dave. I'm not.
Fucking shit game anyway. Not interested. Yeah, crap. Fucking YouTuber making a game. Piss off. Yeah, so we have that dice versus dice thing. That's the core thing we took away from the Grave stuff. We've got a little bit of bolt action in there / Star Wars Legion with our initiative and order assignment things.
Nice.
So your characters are different levels usually, and that level is represented at all times by a dice that they have. So level 5 is a D10, level 6 is a D12. Simon, who I worked on the game with, is watching this now thinking, you stupid twat, those are the wrong levels, but carry on. He'll be checking his book like, have I fucked up?
There's going to be 5 comments. The first 5 comments are going to be from Simon under the video. Yeah.
Fuck, no, never mind. Sorry, you're right. So you can activate, you can pick one of your dice from the pool. And if all of your guys are D6, then you've got kind of carte blanche to see which one activates first.
Right.
If you've got specific dice bound to their levels, then that has to go with that character kind of thing. But as they take damage in the game, they go down a dice level.
Oh.
So you're going to need a lot of Temu dice for this one. But obviously that means if the dice are changing, then you can, in theory, as the big stuff takes damage and gets closer to the mid-range stuff, you've got more strategic options about who goes when.
I like it.
But you can also nominate one of your opponent's dice, which is going to be some fucking table flips, I think. And Yeah, if they've got the choice, if everyone's D6, then it's not so bad. If they've got a big old tanky unit that needs to go out in the open to do anything, on my turn, I'm gonna indicate that big boy's dice, and you can go
Right.
out there so I can shoot you with everything. Um, we also have really detailed character trees for classes and subclasses. It takes
Yeah.
about 5 minutes to make a faction, but each one has just so much stuff they can do, which is where that initial Yu-Gi-Oh influence came from that I mentioned right back when we started talking about this game,
Yeah.
where that guy can do a thing. Now see what that thing does after this guy's done his thing, and now look at his level 1 ability, because when he does that, that does in fact interact with his passive skill, which makes him a horrifying napalm freight train. So there's endless depth to it. We've done playtesting, but every time we dig into that character sheet, it's like, no, there's more things that can explode. This is ridiculous.
Brilliant.
You're just going to have to put it out. I'll wrap up on this character, but we, in a direct nod to Yu-Gi-Oh, we made a character called the Black Magician. I've been watching the Japanese version of it, and he's the Black Magician, not the Dark Magician.
Right.
And I just kind of sat there trying to come up with what can I do to distinguish this guy from the other spellcasters. We've got fire, we've got ice, wind. It's not very Black Magician-y. Water, everything's frozen in this wasteland, so he can't do that. What if he opens a black hole? What happens when you open a black hole on a 2x2? I don't know. Let's find out.
That kind of leads on to what I was going to ask you before, is that I think partly because of the influence of Warhammer, a lot of game designers are obsessed with balance, and it doesn't. And it sounds like you're more interested in flavor than balance. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, I think there's a big tendency for people to not say this game are balanced on the box, but there's an emphasis on trying to make a game balanced, and everyone is trying to chase the meta chase and make something balanced, even though the thing that they're chasing, Warhammer, is not balanced. So
No.
it's like, well, what is the point?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a dog chasing a car. Like, so yeah, just balance kind of went out the window to a large degree. But we realized if you want a competitive game of Petrichor, you both pick exactly the same teams at the same levels, and your game is perfectly balanced.
Yes.
If you want to have fun, bring the Black Magician, and a load of guys with blunderbusses. Just do that. Just.
I can't wait to try this. When can we try it? You're doing some demos soon, I think, are you? It's a couple of events.
Yes. So we have like a really soft launch, like erectile dysfunction soft launch, I would call it, at ChillCon in Sheffield I don't know when this is going out, but it is on the 19th. Is it the 19th? Like, let me check my calendar.
Yeah, it'll be the week after this comes out, yeah.
21st. Am I in the right month? It is March, isn't it?
Yeah, it is March. Yeah, 21st to be right. Yeah.
Yeah, 21st and 22nd. Fuck, I've lost your window. Where are you? Christ. Might be Dad trying to work the video recorder. Yeah, so we're doing a very truncated version of the game, essentially. ChillCon on the meet and greet stand. We're next to Mr. Duncan Rhodes. Obviously, Duncan hasn't brought his game because Duncan hasn't got a game. He's just got paint or something.
Yeah. You can get him to paint some of the figures because you've actually produced some minis as well, haven't you?
Yes. Yeah. The miniatures are, I mean, they're not going to show up on this, but I'll send you some pictures. You can bring up a picture if you like.
Thank you,
want to. We've had the wonderful Dan Kelly of Lion's Tower Miniatures, Sculptor Miniatures. I got into his Crystal Collapse game about a year ago now, which is his not Final Fantasy tactical RPG miniatures game.
Yeah.
And I love his style of, this is traditional RPG viewed through that Japanese pair of eyes, essentially.
Right.
So it's not traditional Western RPG, but it's just it's slightly different, and I really like that, kind of a bit berserky almost.
All right, yeah.
So I've had him sculpting the miniatures. Yeah.
ChillCon's going to be the first time we can get to see this. What are you going to do? UK Games Expo?
Yeah, ChillCon's the first time you're going to get to play it. If you want to have a little play it, you can play with a limited amount of models. The models that I have will be on sale. They're still being sculpted. I am shitting myself slightly because I have paid for a UK Games Expo table.
Yeah.
But Expo is essentially, I hope, the actual launch of it, and everything is done in time and everything is ready. Where the rulebook is there, we'll have dice sets, we'll have all of our tokens and counters, we'll have the full lineup of miniatures, which is quite a small range at the minute, but it's miniature agnostic. So whatever. You'll be able to play it. There'll be demos going. Well, there'll be one demo going. There'll be one man with a demo table, so you have to be gentle with him. But I can keep people entertained while they wait. And we've also got our full range of health and safety frog miniatures as well.
Oh, beautiful. And I want to come on to Hector in a minute, but I want to ask you first about whether learning the fundamentals of game design has changed your enjoyment or impacted your enjoyment of games. And because it's like learning how the magician does the tricks. And I've always stepped away from that because I was worried it would ruin the magic for me. So I had a friend who lived in York, actually, he did drama, studied drama, and he then proceeded to ruin every TV show for me for about the next 20 years because he would break it down and tell you all the fundamentals. But I wondered if you'd experienced something similar from that side of game design.
No, I don't think ruined as such. I suppose for some people it does ruin stuff, but I like to have a deeper understanding of things, like when I'm watching a TV show or playing a game, and I've heard that stock sound effect before. I have that on Sound Effects, Sony Classics Collection Volume 3, Disc 9. Babe, shut the fuck up. I'm sorry, I won't speak again. Oh, those aren't the tyre screeches for that car. That wouldn't do that. That wouldn't fucking do that. So it's kind of similar. It's just like having a deeper understanding. But
yeah,
I think if I were to pretend I knew what I was doing, that would be a lie. This is all just having a go. This is just prodding something with a broom and hoping people resonate with it. I hope people resonate with the universe. I hope that it speaks to some people, and I hope that I think it's a game people are going to have to pick up and realize, okay, this is going to be fucking carnage. Right, sure thing. But if you've watched much of my channel, you know that I love a shit game, like a game that has no idea it's bad. Like I've covered various one release and done card games from the 90s, like Magic Clones.
Yeah,
I love that crap. Like, it comes out on the pitch in first turn, you know, this game's broken. This is awful. This is dreadful. Did we bring anything else? No, we're here for 5 hours. We're going to play this game. Just get a couple of beers. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. So kind of just, we took some of that obfuscation is the word, I think, from those games. And while we have done our best to be clear about stuff, there's definitely parts where people will look through it and think, hang on, that doesn't make sense. That's kind of nonsense. And then you could just ping me an Instagram message. I'd be like, hey, of course it does. Of course it results in someone exploding. Of course it would. Yeah. But yeah, I think it hasn't changed my enjoyment of other games, really.
Good.
If anything, I like the good games. I don't like the cumbersome games too much, and I really love a crap game. So yeah.
Quick and dirty, like a teenage shag. That's the best kind of game.
Hector, don't listen. Don't listen.
Sorry, Hector.
So have you thought about doing the game design thing yourself, or?
I would love to, like, when somebody creates an open-ended universe like the one you were talking about, or more open-ended than a lot of the established ones are, that is when I start to feel those old synapses are slowly like sparking a little bit, and like that gets the creative juices flowing. So that's the kind of game I like to play, but also the kind of thing that you would like to write about, or that would inspire you to write some awful fan fiction. That's my next step, Dave. Awful fan fiction.
Awful fan fiction. I'm with you. Yeah. I'm glad you cycled back around to that with the with the open-ended stuff. So there was a brief spell where I thought, okay, maybe I should do like a really nice, convenient, just chunk of text. This is the deal. This is why everyone's come back from the dead, or whatever. Here's some answers for you. And then my wife went away for the weekend, and this isn't going where you think it's going to go. I got myself comfy on the couch with the cat, and I finally decided to watch season 3 of Twin Peaks. Holy shit, man. So I haven't quite recovered yet. I'm still chronically fucking depressed. But, have you seen it?
Yeah.
So it gets to the end and you're just like, no, there must be more. I know he's dead, but like there must be more. David, you've made more, right? And then poured over video essays, read essays, until like 5 a.m, and interviews with him. And he says, basically it summarized, closure is boring. When people have closure, people stop talking about things. And when people found out who killed Laura Palmer in season 2, people stopped watching the show. People stopped talking about it. People stopped caring. And I kind of took that and thought, you know what? No, I can be David Lynch, but still alive, and hopefully not as loud and grating, and do this to my universe and commit to the bit, and do that with it.
Yeah, I'm excited to learn more about it. I'm coming to. I can't do ChillCon. I've got something else on, but I'm definitely coming to UK Games Expo. So I will make a beeline. It's genuinely it's been an interesting chat about that. I am honestly excited about it, and I think you kind of gave us a teaser when I'll actually let you get a word in edgewise when we were in the Uber. So it's been brilliant to find out a lot more about it. And I wanted to, before I let you go, I wanted to ask you just very briefly also, circling back to the channel, was about the 2 other icons that are part of the channel, which is you're on my screen here. You're logged in. It actually is Tony's Pizzeria, but there's Tony, and also the other fan favorite is the Frog.
Yeah, health and safety Frog doing his thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's got such a judgmental look. I always maybe it's like one of those like pictures that you see where you like he's a butterfly, but you see your parents fighting. But he always looks at me like he's judging me.
Yeah. He's got a brilliant face. He's like Japanese kabuki theater or something.
Yeah.
Like you move the candle 3 feet to the right, and the face just completely fucking changes. Like he can be so judgmental. He can be happy. He can be hungry. He can be very annoyed sometimes. The face he pulls when he's doing a shit in the sink is incredible, because he's too small for the toilet, you see. So
as long as there is a toilet, you're also not shitting in the sink. That's kind
of... I can use the toilet. Yeah. What was it you wanted to ask about them?
I mean, where did you get the idea from them as characters from? Because that also was something that was completely like unique and has never kind of been done on a hobby channel, if you like.
Yeah, I mean, without breaking the kayfabe too much, I wanted to use as many of my skill sets as possible. And me and Tony, with another guy for 10 years, we had a traveling puppet show. We went here, there, and everywhere. We went around the world, kids shows.
Wow.
Yeah. Tony has always been the same character, barring a few swear words, essentially. He's not changed in like 10 years. So yeah, when I parted company with that company, I took Tony with me because no one else could do it right. So, you live in Tony? No. Oh, you're going to pay for Tony? Not especially. Oh, okay. And that was back when I was very into powerlifting and whatever. So people were just like, yeah, fine, you go. You look slightly annoyed. Okay. So yeah, that's kind of where Tony comes from. Hector is like, he's our emotional support frog to a large degree. He has a lot of personality. Off camera, he still does the Hector things. I talk to him every day, and sometimes he talks back when he's not eating or drinking on bongo. But it's to yet again cycle back round. It's the hobby is very, very, very fucking serious at times, and the sky is falling when the label on a paint pot changes, and there's women in our games workshop, and just there's so much fucking sky is falling seriousness, and part of the MSPaints brand is demystifying, but also de-ritualizing and removing the reverence from painting and making stuff. Like it's not an impassable bar of entry that you can get into. You can just pick up a paintbrush and you're already starting on the journey, kind of thing. And Hector and Tony, pretty much, from what people have told me at various conventions and stuff, is it's okay to be yourself. It's okay to be chill. It's okay to not be serious. And it's okay for a grumpy looking ex-powerlifter to be very defensive of his frog. So, I think I think it's quite comforting and reassuring to some people. Also,
100%.
families watch it, which is very weird.
Really?
Or it was weird for me. Like, kids are allowed to watch it even though there's swearing.
It's like being a kid in the 90s.
Yeah. It's rainbow, but there's dangerous chemicals and swearing and guns. Lots of guns for Tony.
I was going to ask you about the convention thing, because it was funny. I wondered if like that's the first thing that people ever like ask you when you go to these things, like, are they there? Are they here?
Yes. Yeah. People will sometimes ask if Health and Safety Frog is there. People are sometimes surprised when I get him out of the bag to say hello. Or if my wife's holding him, he will just appear next to me and they'll be like, oh my fucking God. Oh my fucking God. And it's like meeting Sooty and Sweep when you're a kid, like, holy fuck. He's here. So there's been some emotional times where Hector has come out, or he's just been sat on the table and someone has been, talking to me at a meet and greet stand, and they're quite polite, they're quite quiet. And when we're not having much of a conversation, and I'll say, so do you want a picture with Health and Safety Frog? And immediately, yes. Yes. And he's kind of, he is a boundary breaker for a lot of the social awkwardness we have. I think a lot of Wargamer social awkwardness from an outside perspective is viewed as just being a bit rude and a bit grumpy, but it's as nuanced as any other social awkwardness. People are quiet, people can be shy, especially if you watch me on big telly, it can be a little bit intimidating. Like, that's not a brag, it can be just a bit odd for people.
100%. I think I introduced myself to you twice at least before. I was definitely a little bit overwhelmed.
When someone shouts my name on a platform, if I come to a stop, I'm not running away. I've stopped moving now. I'm committed.
Yeah.
Hello, you don't know me. I know. Can I help you with your bags? Are you going to Nottingham? You look like you're going to Nottingham.
I wanted to know if people asked you a lot about, particularly about Hector, because that was one of the first things you said. Was I was literally about to ask you, and you looked at me and went, "Haven't got a Health and Safety Frog with me today." I thought he knew I was going to ask that question.
Yeah. People just love him, and I'm completely aware of this. He has his own miniatures line now. I don't do autographs at conventions. Hector does the autographs. So and people really like those nice little touches. They just, again, it's Sooty and Sweep all over again. So and it's just nice to see, the ice melt on a big dude who's my age. is suddenly like a kid again briefly, and you're like, yeah, man, that's what we're about. We're happy good times. So yeah,
it's wholesome as fuck. On that note, I want to say a massive thank you. I hope you've enjoyed that even half as much as me. That's been one of my favorite tracks I've ever done.
Good.
I'm really looking forward to find out more about the game. Tell us what it's called again.
Petrichor. So you can find it on Instagram as Petrichor_game. Very, very inventively named. I had to come up with something yesterday when I made card backs for my miniature blister packs. I was like, fuck, I haven't got any socials for it. Petrichor_game.
Blister packs as well. I inject that nostalgia into my veins. I love it. But yeah, go and follow Petrichor on Instagram. I'll put a link in the description so you can find them. I'm already there. I think I'm follower number 21 or something. I was right on it.
Hey.
So yeah.
It's the 21st.
Yeah. So let's follow that journey together. I want to say thank you also to my Patreons. Thank you very much for keeping the lights on here and allowing me to talk absolute waffle with people of Dave's caliber. It's much appreciated. I'll put your names on the screen as I'm waffling now. But big thank you to everybody. Oh, Dave's done his magic fingers. There we go. Thank you, Dave.
I'll do it that side in case it's on that side. I don't know which side your template is. Sorry,
Dave. It's the wrong side, Dave. Oh dear. Right. And on that note, I think we'll stop. But again, huge thank you again to you. Everyone, keep an eye out for Petrichor, and we'll be back soon with another video. Thanks a lot.
Bye bye.